What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Conservative Chicanos. And today's story is a heartbreaker because nonsense like this shouldn't be happening, especially in America, where a 6-year-old girl, her parents shot after a basketball rolls into a man's North Carolina yard. A North Carolina 6-year-old and her parents were shot Tuesday night by an angry neighbor who fired at them after a basketball rolled into his yard, a report said. Kinsley White was wounded along with her mother, Ashley Hildebrand, and father, William White, when a gunman opened fire around 8 p.m. in Gaston County after he became enraged about a basketball rolling into his yard. Here's the thing, man, is I understand being upset if a basketball rolls into your yard. And I understand when the noise is probably not the best sound in the world when you hear the ball bouncing up and down the street, but that's part of life. That's part of being around in a neighborhood. That's part of being in a community, is listening to that stupid stuff like that. And I understand that it gets annoying and you get frustrated, especially if you're watching your a basketball game or something like that. But these are kids. These are children. And there should be no reason why you would get that angry where you pull a gun out and start shooting into the middle of the street. Suspected shooter Robert Louis Singletary grew angry and ran down the street as he fired, they reportedly said. Then came back and began shooting at the family, including the young daughter who needed stitches on her face from bullet fragments. Her father was also hit and was still in the hospital Wednesday, police said. The father reportedly tried to draw gunfire toward him to keep his kid safe before he was struck in the back. "We don't even know the man. Why did you shoot my daddy? Why did you shoot a kid's dad?" is what the little girl said, which is heartbreaking. It's sad to hear. Hildebrand was grazed by a bullet and is still recovering at home with her daughter. Neighbors told the station that Singletary allegedly kept shooting until he was out of bullets. "He looked at my husband and my daughter and told them, 'I'm going to kill you.' Authorities said Singletary is still at large." The department is seeking public help locating the fugitive, offering a $1,000 reward. "I want to say to the people of Gaston County, this sort of violence will not stand," Police Chief Stephen Zill said in a statement, noting the U.S. Marshal Service is also helping in the search for Singletary. Like I said, man, I certainly understand why you could be frustrated. I understand, being pissed off. I myself would probably say, "Hey, man, you guys are being a little loud. Do you mind turning it down?" But not to the point where I'm opening gunfire into the street at a neighbor and then turning around and shooting at a family. That's uncalled for. So now we're going to switch over to this other article about the same story, about the man who shot the 6-year-old. He had previously had his girlfriend and beat his girlfriend and held her hostage. Robert Louis Singletary was arrested in Florida on Thursday, so he has been arrested after having shot a 6-year-old girl and her parents this week, reportedly because he was annoyed with the stray basketball that had bounced in his yard. And in a depressingly predictable development, NBC reported Saturday that Singletary had previously been arrested in December for beating his girlfriend with the sledgehammer and then holding her captive and forcing her to clean up the blood. The victim had told detectives that she had been at Singletary's apartment and that he had hit her in the back of the head with a sledgehammer. She said she immediately felt dizzy and disoriented and was bleeding profusely, according to authorities. Singletary kept the woman in his apartment and told her that she could not leave until she had cleaned up all the evidence from the assault. The news release says she complied and then drove to the hospital after he let her leave. Singletary was held on bond for $250,000, but released on December 15th, 4 months before Tuesday's shooting. Think about that. Think about this victim, this young lady. She gets basically beaten with a sledgehammer, turns around, goes to the hospital, files charges on him, and they release him on a $250,000 bond, and now he goes out and starts shooting in the street. The victims of Singletary's alleged latest shooting have all survived for now. A bullet grazed a 6-year-old in the face and spared her mother, while her dad remains in the hospital in serious condition. Police said a 4th person was shot but was not injured. It's absolutely absurd in this country how it's easy for a man with a history of a domestic abuse to purchase a firearm, especially considering the close correlation between mass shootings and domestic violence. Well, it comes down to common sense, everybody. See, these gun laws are only going to prevent law-abiding citizens from getting guns. So, like, let's say somebody commits a felony and they're trying to change their life around, they're not going to go get this gun. Okay? But a guy like this is easily going to turn around and be able to get a gun. You could get guns on the streets. You're not going to stop people from purchasing guns. You're not going to do it. I'm sorry. Maybe in an isolated area like Australia, you could probably prevent the guns from being imported. But there's guns all over the United States. There's bad guys here. They're coming across the border. They're coming everywhere. You're not going to stop it. Bad guys are going to get guns. Bad guys are going to commit crimes with knives. Bad guys are going to hit you with brass knuckles. Bad guys, criminals are going to do criminal things. That's just the way it is. You're not going to stop this. What you're doing is you're preventing regular people, law-abiding citizens who are trying to change their lives from getting guns, who are not going to sit there and do this, but the bad guys that are going to commit crimes, they're going to get guns. People think that all these gun bans are going to stop gun violence. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to have gang members all over the United States that are going to have guns, and you're going to have people that are trying to change their lives that are not going to have guns. It's that simple. And you can sit there and say, oh, well, Bear, there's ways to... No, there's not. Bad guys are going to do bad guys things. It's plain and simple. There's been bad guys forever. Cain and Abel, he killed his brother with a rock. You're not going to stop gun violence. It's going to be a gun violence type of thing no matter what you do. All these gun laws are doing is hurting American citizens from being able to protect themselves. Call me a liar in the comments down below if you think I'm wrong. North Carolina, per the Gun Safety Advocacy Organization, has no law requiring the removal or surrender of firearms from the scene of domestic violence incident or prohibiting people convicted of domestic violence and misdemeanors from purchasing guns or ammunition. Last June, the U.S. House and Senate passed the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which is the least partially closed the boyfriend loophole that allowed unmarried partners to hold their guns after they'd been convicted of domestic violence. But the bill still allows domestic abusers to get their guns back after 5 years, and Congress has yet to act the background checks for gun purchasers. It's unclear how Singletary obtained the gun he was able to shoot the young girl and her parents, and the incident is still being investigated. He now faces charges of attempted first-degree murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and possession of a firearm. Again, no matter what you do, all you're doing is hurting people that are changing their lives. These gun laws ain't gonna work. Bad guys are gonna get guns. They can't even tell you how this guy got a gun. This guy, we don't know how he got the gun. He could have got it from the streets. He could have got it from his brother. He could have got it from Joe Schmo down the block. Bad guys are gonna do bad guy things. And my prayers go out to the families of the victims of this heinous act. You're not gonna change nothing, and that sucks. And that sucks for the American people, that there's jerks like this that are going to continue to do bad guy things. But if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing, smash that like button, share this video, let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think that Robert Louis Singletary should do more time, or do you think the charges are good? Do you disagree with me on gun laws? Do you think they prevent these things from happening? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you all have a good day. God bless, and as always, deuces.